Hi, I'm James Robertson. I'm following on from the link in my document establishing why I claim that I'm unique in terms of my approach to ERP implementation and why I'm setting a high standard and a high bar that can add huge value to your organization. So I'd like to share a few slides with you just to make my point. And we're talking about a large listed corporation, over 60,000 employees, with an SAP implementation that was not delivering as established by discussion with the chief executive. I want to present this in the context of the point that I make in my document that ERP failure is at epidemic levels. Google search March 2025, percentage of ERP projects that do not deliver what was promised, and the response Gartner 55 to 75%. Now the thing to note is that 75% crops up on a number of other websites on the first page of Google and subsequent pages, and also the 75 has been around for at least 20 years. I was talking about it in 2005. In considering what's on the screen, Gartner is certainly the most authoritative opinion. If Gartner see fit to publish 55 to 75, then you can take it as a given that that's a reliable number. However, I suggest that it's a low number. It could be as high as 95%. It's a low estimate because expectations have been dumbed down over the years. Virtually nobody's getting anything that really approximates the vision that we had for ERP 20 years ago. And secondly, people are cagey about the truth that it's not good politics to advise the shareholders that you've spent a whole lot of money and it's really not working very well. So people cover it up. Survey by the Financial Mail some years ago, confidential survey of CEOs, 19 out of 20 ERP implementations are not delivering what is promised. And it may be as high as that today. Requires somebody to do some confidential surveys. So case study, multinational listed company, SAP R3 with SAP Data Warehouse and Business Intelligence. I should mention this is a few years ago, and I also want to make the point right now, SAP is an excellent product. Nothing that I say to you in this presentation is in any way detracting from SAP. It could have been done with any other ERP on the market and you would have got the same results with the same data that I'm going to show you in a minute. Flaunted as a landmark site, but privately highly suboptimal. So I interviewed the chief executive and this is what he had to say to me. He said, I asked him to rate his systems on a scale of 0 could not be worse anywhere in the world, and 10 could not be better anywhere in the world. And he said to me, at an operational level, I would give the system 7 or 8 out of 10, SAP, etc., working, the business is running well. And that's a typical thing, folks. ERPs are running at the level of getting the actual day-to-day nuts and bolts of the business running. That's not the problem. But that's the focus with which they implement it. But wait for it. He then said to me, I would give the systems 1 to 3 out of 10, and I would only give it a 3 because I have excellent people gathering and processing the information I need. The systems themselves, I would give 1 out of 10. Almost could not be worse anywhere in the world. Large corporation, a lot of money. Why? Well, let's look at the chart of accounts. And what you see there is an extract from the chart of accounts. No logic in that list. Plant spares is a big bin that overlaps other items there, foodstuffs in the middle of engineering stuff. Absolutely no logic, no structure. Difficult to write reports, difficult to maintain reports. I could go on for hours. The SAP Material Group, similar situation, no structure, completely jumbled. Duplication, conveyor idlers and pipe fittings, small things against steam, diesel locos, commercial vehicles, bicycles, passengers, batteries. No, folks, absolutely no logic. And you wonder why you battle to get reports. Then some important facts. There was a billboard on the main road which said, name of company runs SAP R3, the best run businesses run SAP. Kind of speaks to what I said just now about the Gartner results. In this particular case, 4 senior accountants, and by senior I mean driving high-end company cars, and large executive officers spending 3 weeks a month to produce the board pack. Each of them with huge complex spreadsheets for each of their different areas of the business, with all sorts of people running around providing information for them, because they could not get the information they needed from the SAP or the data warehouse or the associated BI. Terrible configuration. So let's look at the solution, because it's easy for me to criticize, but do I have an answer? Well, just to start off with, here's a very simple example, credit note reason codes. And if you check that list out for this particular client, a comprehensive list of every possible reason for a credit note, and it's structured. There's a two-stage code, two-stage hierarchy, and answers to the questions you've not yet thought to ask yet. And that's a fundamental principle that I advocate. Here's another item class, of an item master for a mining company. Notice the hierarchy. At the lowest level, 5 to 10 items at each at the bottom level of the hierarchy for ease of interpretation. Why do I say 7? It's called Miller's Law, or the Hare law, and I've verified it myself empirically over many years. People can get their minds around 7 plus or minus 2 easily. More than 7, outside that boundary, it doesn't work very well. So let me demonstrate. Left-hand pie chart, less than 5, doesn't tell you much. Middle pie chart, over 10, confusing, difficult to make sense of. And if you look at those 2 bad examples I showed you, there is no pie chart. There is absolutely no logic. And then on the right, around 7 slices, easy to interpret. And with that, you can drill down very quickly, very efficiently, and get answers to your questions and make decisions. And the hierarchies that I showed you allow you to do this very easily because it is built into the code scheme. It takes time and effort to build that, but it really makes a big difference. Successful case study, audit efficiencies, masses of management information, profitability improved, 1 less bookkeeper. That's the sort of thing that's possible. This is not a huge organization, about 250 personnel. And I can do it for your organization. It's not difficult in the sense of complexity. It's time-consuming in the sense of achieving a high level of precision. There's a whole body of knowledge that I've built up behind that. In this particular case, I quoted the client 90 hours to produce a chart of accounts. It took me 1,000 hours, no charge, because I underestimated how complex it is. I've done it since on a number of occasions. I've got a software tool to help me now. And then let's look at the psychology of decision-making. Strategic executive decisions are based on a whole bunch of stuff over and above the hard information. So you better give them the hard information they need quickly and efficiently, and answer whatever questions they have today, not the questions they had yesterday, the questions they have today. And in doing that, one must accurately model the real world. And I hope you saw that with those 2 good examples that I shared with you. You can look at that and very quickly understand the business. You bring a new member of staff in, they immediately know what's going on, versus those 2 bad examples. I'm not going to go into it. So the lack of a highly structured hierarchical data was completely sabotaging the client's investment in SAP. Value of the investment was seriously compromised. Business was reliant on manual work. Remediation was entirely possible, and it's available to you. I can do that for your organization. My approach in dealing with the situation is, I believe, unconventional and unique. I got involved with 2 ERP implementations last year, and none of the implementers had a clue about what I'm talking about here. So, folks, that's it. I hope I've got my point across. I would love to chat to you. And just on that point, Bill Gates says if you've not acted on a new idea within 48 hours, you probably never will. So please make some notes and give me a shout. I know you can't ask me questions on this video, but you can drop me a line. My contact details there on the screen. Welcome to phone me, WhatsApp me, email me, contact me on LinkedIn. james.a.robertson at the-erp-doctor.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much.